9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Good morning. So we're going to talk about some news, but before we get into that, did you see yesterday Matt Murphy tweeted from my Twitter account?
I did.
Yeah.
Little hijacking.
Yeah, I left it logged in because I don't really think that Murphy's going to do me like that, dog. So he tweets from my account and then has the audacity to leave his account logged in today and think that I'm just going to walk in here and not do anything.
It is on.
So I wonder what we should do to, what should we tweet out to troll Matt Murphy?
Super text.
Super text me, 615-737-9986.
Need ideas.
The best idea may land on Matt Murphy's Twitter account, just so you know.
And you want that credit.
Yeah.
So come on.
You're going to want that. I'll even tag the last four of your number.
Yeah. Yes. We got to get this troll going.
What did I say? So, like, we need to tweet something that'll really get under his skin. Like, maybe I should just be like, hashtag I stand with Palestine or something like that to really get his jimmies rustled. Do you think there'd be anything else that could get his jimmies more rustled than that?
You could do something about the moon landing.
Oh, the moon landing,
yeah.
Yes. Did you see that?
I did see that.
They were going to go back to the moon.
I thought of you immediately.
They were going to go back to the moon, and they postponed it. Strange. Everybody's saying go Vols. I feel like that we should post go Vols on his thing.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah, go Vols.
I feel like that's soft.
It's easy.
I feel like that's low-hanging fruit. Like, I want something that's, like, might actually make him mad.
To actually come in here heated.
Yeah. It's Friday Eve. Is it Friday Eve? It's not Friday Eve.
Oh, we can't do Friday. Oh, that would have been perfect.
What a good one. Somebody said to tweet, I like, I don't know if I could say that one on the air. Never mind. I was going to. Epstein was innocent is something somebody said I should tweet out.
Ooh, Epstein was innocent.
Josh said, I can't keep hiding this anymore. I have to be honest with myself and my listeners. I'm a liberal.
0621 say that he's endorsing Joe Biden. That's a first-time texter, too. Thanks.
Oh, that's a first-time texter. That might be a good one.
That's a good one.
Rooster said, make it harder on Matt Murphy and start following every leftist and LBGTQ, Alphabet Mafia plus yes. Whatever side.
Change his algorithm.
That's how I found out that I was even logged into his account. I popped it up, and I was like, I don't follow this person. And I hit unfollow, and then I was like, oh, I'm on Murphy's account. I quickly followed them back. Sorry. 4465 said Corn Pop was a good dude.
That's good.
Yeah, but that's just the truth of the matter.
Could be something about Dolly Parton. Like, is Dolly even that good?
Hold on. Somebody nailed it. 7308 said, you know he's listening. He'll be calling in a minute. I just got a text. Matt Murphy said, I would note in the actual tweet I posted, I tagged that it was me. I know they don't read so well in Boston. Just wanted to note it here. LOL. But this is the thing, Murphy. You come at me, dog, and I feel like my response has to be thunderous.
Yes.
I feel like my response has to be the thunder. I'm probably not going to post anything, to be honest with you.
You can talk about it for 20 minutes.
I'll talk about it for like 10 minutes and be like, yeah, I'm probably not going to do anything because whatever. AOC is my secret crush, says 9716. I should post. Was that a secret?
Is that even a lie? Yeah.
I'm the boss.
Okay, sorry. I'm all in for Hillary. Yep. 0458 says hard to go to the moon when you've never even been there in the first place. How do you make a phone call to Nixon? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. 8110 it said cowboy butts drive me nuts. I think that is the one that's going to be posted.
That's gotta be it.
All right, here we go.
Cowboy butts drive me nuts.
Cowboy butts. What is that? Yep, that's two words. Butts drive.
Oh, 2284 said liberal with a small L. I like that. That's funny.
Liberal with a small L. LOL. All right, I'm also going to add a GIF of a cowboy butt. Let's see if they have one of those. Oh, it's just regular Cowboys players.
No, that's not what we want.
No. I got one of Principal Skinner with his butt up in the air. I'll put that one there.
That's good. Yeah, that'll work.
All right, boom. All right, it's done.
That's what you get, Murphy.
That's what happens. Come at the throne.
Come at the
throne. A lot more offensive than what he posted on mine. Do you know what he posted on mine?
Yeah, what was it again?
Like something like Matt Murphy's my hero. Like,
oh yeah,
come on, jeez Louise,
vulgar.
Let's say that. All right, I logged you out, Murphy. I also didn't put that I posted it because that I don't do that stuff. I don't. If somebody's not listening, I want them to actually think that cowboy butts drive you nuts. So thank you, 8110.
Great job, 8110.
All right. There were a lot more that were pretty funny that I wasn't sure I could do. Oh, somebody said you should have put a GIF from Brokeback Mountain. Dang. Ooh, I missed that opportunity. I've already logged out. Somebody said, tweet out, disregard my name on the Epstein list. You guys are hilarious.
Love it.
Last night, Ron DeSantis had a town hall on CNN. Not on CNN, Fox News.
Because we're Fox News and we suck.
Yeah. Yep. So he's on Fox News last night. We were talking about the social media teams yesterday of Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis has a better social media team than Nikki Haley, but Nikki Haley at a town hall, she posted, what was it, one clip on her social media? One. So then we set the over-under for DeSantis, and you can go back to the tape, but I'm pretty sure we set it at 8, right?
Yeah, that was it. And I think an even 8.
And we both bought the over.
Yeah, we did.
So we both failed. If we're going by Price is Right rules, we're bankrupt, okay?
Oh, no.
So do you know how many he posted?
How many?
8.
8?
He posted exactly 8. We nailed it.
Yeah, what a good line.
We nailed it.
Yeah, Vegas knows what's up.
Yeah. It wasn't even Vegas. It's just Chris.
Just me.
Just stick with me. I don't know much about sports ball, but I can bet on politicians and social media. I can tell you that much. He posted 8 clips. Now, for me, I don't know about you. I was more interested in the clips that he didn't post. I was more interested in the clips that went viral that he wasn't really excited about going viral. So one of them was he kind of changed his tune on Iowa. If you remember a couple weeks back, on Meet the Press, he was asked about Iowa and his chances of winning, and this is what it sounded like. Oh, you got to give me audio, bro.
Is Iowa do or die for you, Governor?
We're going to win Iowa. I think it's going to help propel us to the nomination.
We're going to win Iowa. We're going to win Iowa.
Cash.
It's going to propel us. He didn't seem super confident, but at least he's saying the thing, right? Let's check in on him and his feelings on Iowa last night.
A lot of time and investment into this state. If you don't outperform on Monday night, what then?
I kind of like having lower expectations, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Wow.
It went from I'm going to win.
I'm going to win.
Not sounding confident about it to I'm a guy that likes to under-promise, over-deliver, baby. That's the Ron DeSantis way.
Set that bar low.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a good look. Not a good look. He was also interrupted. Hold on. He also thinks that the media is going easy on Trump. Did you know that?
And I think there's a reason why the media has been easy on him relative. They used to hate him. He was like the worst thing ever. I think they want to see 2024 be all about these things.
Do you think the media has been easy on Trump lately? I'll let you jump in on the super text line and tell me what you think. 615-737-9986. I mean, every time I see the media, even when it's Fox News, when they're covering the Epstein list, we see pictures of Trump and Epstein. It seems like they try to tie Trump to Epstein left and right, where there's no proof. But do you think that the media has been easy on him? Seriously. Like what kind of statement is that? The media has been after him for years. Nobody's had to deal with the media like Donald Trump. Kind of weird. Weird statement. He was also interrupted by hecklers last night at his speech. at his town hall.
I'm the only one running that has actually enacted protections for the sanctity of life. I'm the only one that's been able to do that.
Hold on.
No oil money! No oil money! No oil money!
You live and you learn with these people, right?
No oil money!
All right. All right.
He's so awkward. You live and you learn with these people.
The fake laugh at the end.
Like, I don't know. Is that Kamala Harris tear laughing?
Yikes.
All right. All right. Well, you guys, that was a mistake. You guys didn't get that one right. Okay.
So he says that was a mistake. You guys didn't get that one right. Which kind of made me wonder who's he talking to. And I took it as he was talking to Fox News, like they didn't vet their crowd well enough. Which brought me back to Laura Loomer being kicked out of his campaign event. She was kicked out of a DeSantis event at a sports bar in Iowa. Now, a DeSantis crony came up to her with police, said that she was trespassing, and they had permission from the owner to remove her from the premises. So maybe DeSantis is trying to say that his people are good at vetting and kicking these kind of people out. But with Laura Loomer, the DeSantis staff actually lied. The owner of the sports bar where Ron DeSantis and his staffer, Jared Small, called the cops on her and had her removed the other night. The owner says that he never told police to threaten her with arrest. He never asked police to tell her that she was trespassing, and that Ron DeSantis lied to the owners about the nature of the altercation in their restaurant in order to have me removed. The way it broke down is there was a campaign event on the main floor, and then Laura Loomer went upstairs where people were allowed to be in the public, and she was up there having dinner. Now, you can say Laura Loomer wasn't there for the best reasons. That's fine. But when you're kicking journalists out of your events, that's not exactly a good look. Am I the only one that thinks that's not a good look? The owners also told Laura Loomer that they are personally Trump supporters and that they only hosted Ron DeSantis because they believe in free speech and they're willing to host all candidates because they're a business. And that conflicts with the claims made by Team DeSantis' director of advance, Jared Small, who said the owner endorsed Ron DeSantis, which is why the owner wanted her to leave. The owner told Laura Loomer that not only has he not endorsed Ron DeSantis, but he also declined to take pictures with Ron DeSantis when asked to. Now, I don't want to be too hard on Ron. He's not the only one kicking protesters out of events. Nikki Haley has been kicking Laura Loomer out of her events as well. And Nikki Haley at one of her events, she ran. She absolutely hightailed it from somebody asking questions about the donations that she's been receiving from certain individuals like, what's his name? A Democrat mega donor and Jeffrey Epstein associate, Reid Hoffman. This is what that sounded like. That's probably why they don't like Laura Loomer. So she's walking around, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Calling you Stand for America back to return Reid Hoffman's donation and letter to Epstein documents. Well, you guys don't want me asking your boss about Jeffrey Epstein?
Apparently she's not answering.
And then they cover up the camera with Nikki Haley signs. Can't ask Nikki Haley questions. That's not allowed. She's not just kicking out reporters. She also kicked out an 18-year-old kid at a Nikki Haley event, a town hall. Aren't town halls supposed to be about communication and asking questions and the like?
Bingo.
Weird. I got the story on that when we get back. It's 9:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, look who just showed up at today's debate on a resolution to hold Hunter Biden in contempt for his failure to show up at a deposition last month. I'll tell you about it coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The master of the tease, Ken Weaver. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Before we get into what I teased about the 18-year-old that Nikki Haley and her campaign staff threw out of an event, I do want to make the statement that Matt Murphy has already deleted the tweet that I tweeted.
Oh,
on
come
his account.
on.
He gets into my account. I don't delete the tweet. Still there. Still there. Murphy didn't even let that tweet stand for a minute, I bet.
Weak.
Super weak. Super weak. We're going to grill him on that in our crossover, by the way.
For sure.
I mean, I could have gone a lot harder.
Way harder. You saw some of the super text suggestions.
I saw some of those super text suggestions. Matt says, tell them about the other tweet, ? He texted me. Yeah, Matt tweeted out, Chris Hand is my hero. But I didn't tweet that. That's not the point, Matt. We'll discuss. We'll discuss later on today.
Oh, yes.
This is going to be one of those crossovers you don't want to miss. But Nikki Haley kicked out an 18-year-old from her campaign event. It's wild to me. Is this who we really want running the Republican Party, a Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis, when they're kicking out reporters and journalists from their events, or they're kicking out 18-year-olds? So Nikki Haley and her campaign staff, they kicked out an 18-year-old. They sent him out into that snowstorm. The kid didn't even have a car. He had to wait in the cold for his mom to come pick him up, or an Uber. And for what? Well, for trying to ask Nikki a question. Nikki Haley and her senior presidential campaign staff had an 18-year-old student and, full disclosure, a Loomer Unleashed correspondent thrown out of her event in Iowa this morning. So he's probably waiting for an Uber, not his mom. But they threatened to call police on this 18-year-old, and they locked him outside in a snowstorm, even though he said he was cold and the weather was below freezing. Haley's staffer said, "We know you're with Laura Loomer. You need to leave. If you don't, we'll have you arrested." Wild. So Nikki Haley's just refusing to answer unscripted questions. She's afraid of not just Laura Loomer, but also 18-year-old first-time voters, says Laura Loomer on Twitter. And she goes on, how can Nikki Haley be president and deal with our adversaries and dictators like Xi Jinping if she can't handle Laura Loomer and an 18-year-old Zoomer first-time voter? Nikki Haley clearly doesn't support free speech, and her staff are willing to let teenagers freeze in the snow by their own admission. Wild stuff. If she's president, would she use the police to silence her critics? Would she deprive critics of shelter during a snowstorm? These are all very important questions that voters need to keep in mind before they vote in the Iowa caucus on January 15th. This isn't very Iowa nice, Nikki, said Laura Loomer on Twitter. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Here's Ken Weaver with the latest headlines.
Got the full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. Right now, a traffic problem to tell you about. 65 northbound at Wedgwood Avenue, just south of downtown. The right shoulder blocked by a crash. And right now in our nation's capital, Hunter Biden just made a surprise appearance at the House Judiciary Committee hearing to debate a resolution holding him in contempt for his failure to show up at a deposition last month. Republican South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace told him, "I see you, Hunter Biden."
What is Hunter Biden so afraid of? Why can't you show up for a congressional deposition? You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth.
As Republicans seeking under oath answers to their questions about whether Hunter Biden's father, President Biden, profited from his son's businesses. An accusation he denies. The man involved in the attack on a judge in Las Vegas appearing in court on Tuesday, now charged with attempted murder. Michael Lasso, the law clerk who moved in to save the judge from her attacker, speaking with ABC News.
I don't even want to think about what would have happened if I wasn't there. Once the situation was handled, I immediately went over to her and went to go check on her to make sure she was okay.
27-year-old hailed a hero for saving Judge Mary Kay Holtis from that vicious attack. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
You know, they were supposed to have a rally at my hotel this morning, a Nikki Haley rally. And this sort of speaks to what I'm talking about, because Biden had the same thing. He couldn't get people to a rally. So they were going to have a rally so that when I walked out of the hotel, they have, we love Haley, we love Haley. You know how many people showed up? One person. Secret Service said, sir, there could be a rally tomorrow morning. Nikki Haley's organized a rally at the front entrance to your hotel. So when you come out, it could get a little nasty. Oh, good. It's all right. I walk out, how's the rally? They said, we don't see anybody. I walk out, there's one guy goes, hi, President, hi. He's got a Haley thing. Hi, President. I said, vote for me. I said, I think he's going to vote for me, actually.
It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That was Donald Trump talking about Nikki Haley on January 6th. I love that clip. Said, hi, President.
Hi, President. I said, vote for me. I said, I think he's going to vote for me, actually.
I think he's going to vote for me, actually. There's one guy. Nikki Haley, she's been having these weird campaign events. She's kicking out journalists, kicking out 18-year-olds, correspondents for Laura Loomer, full disclosure. But it's just not a good look. Be ready for this kind of stuff. And I think she's not ready. And I think that there's questions she doesn't want to answer. Obviously, the donations from Reid Hoffman, his connections to Epstein and the Democrat Party, really strange. Vivek Ramaswamy said that he got it wrong. He was expecting, somebody to be propped up in place of Donald Trump. In place of Biden, and he thought that it would be Michelle Obama or it could be Gavin Newsom. And he went on record and said, I'm wrong. The person that they're propping up in place of Joe Biden is Nikki Haley. I thought that was a heck of a statement. Vivek is also now Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, they have a debate tonight on CNN. I know everybody's super excited. Set your TiVo. All right. The people still TiVo. Probably the Nikki Haley crowd.
Yeah, I'll have to plug in my VCR.
Yeah, plug in your VCR. Put the little tape over the tab in case it's been removed. Right, Ken? You know what I'm talking about.
I do, brother.
I think that one went over Mac's head. Did you ever put the tape over the tab on the VHS tape?
No.
So there was like a little plastic tab that you could break off so people couldn't re-record over your VHS tape.
Interesting.
But there was a workaround.
Yeah.
There was a workaround. In case you decided, I don't actually need these old wedding tapes. The marriage didn't end the way it was supposed to. You could put a piece of tape over it, and then you'd be able to re-record over them again.
Interesting.
Highly technical.
This was the peak of 90s technology.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It was that and the rewind machines. Did you ever play with a rewind machine?
I think so. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy. We've come quite a long way.
We've come pretty far. My kids will never know the damage of realizing somebody recorded over your VHS tape. Because nobody would record over at the beginning.
Right.
It would be 20 minutes in when you find out it was recorded over.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you'd all right, I'm watching this.
You're
I'm so in.
watching
Yeah,
it.
this is great.
It's always the worst time. Let's see who you really are.
Oh,
and then next program pops up.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know everybody's going to be getting their VHS tapes all taped up tonight to get that Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley debate on demand for you. Vivek Ramaswamy is actually going to be running a commercial in Iowa on CNN while this is happening. And it's funny. It's really funny. And I wanted to play it for you because I know it's only going to be running in Iowa. And I know you're probably, even if it was running nationwide, you're probably not watching CNN. But this is the commercial that Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run during the CNN debate between Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis.
I'm Vivek Ramaswamy, and I approve this message. The mainstream media is trying to rig the Iowa GOP caucus in favor of the corporate candidates who they can control. Don't fall for their trick. They don't want you to hear from me about the truth of what really happened on January 6th, the truth about the COVID origin, the Hunter Biden laptop story, and everything else they have lied to you about. So you can fix that. Take your remote and turn this off.
I don't know how this got approved by CNN. Maybe they're hurting for advertisers that bad.
Whoa.
But yeah, all right, well, let's approve the ad that tells everyone to turn the program off.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So Vivek Ramaswamy is running that ad in Iowa. 30-second ad. And his campaign has contended CNN was cherry-picking polls when it came to who qualified for that debate. And he's not happy about it. So they took his money for the ad. They must be hurting for ads. Don't fall for their tricks, says Vivek Ramaswamy. His campaign say that he's going to be avoiding the ratings wasteland of CNN and instead is going to be joining Timcast. They're doing a live show in Des Moines to counter-program the network's debate. Also counter-programming the debate will be Donald Trump doing a town hall on Fox News tonight. I mean, dude, it's heating up. Do you feel it?
It's happening, man.
Feel it in your plums.
It's getting going.
It's getting wild out here. It is.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. And then Vivek is, after this, he's going to be hitting the campaign trail with YouTuber, and boxer Jake Paul. You think that's a good look?
Yikes.
Do you think Jake Paul is a good... I'm not super familiar with them, with the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan. What's your take on it? You're younger. You're hip.
I think they're both absolute jerks, but they're just not great humans. But Jake's gotten better. He's gotten a little more mature. Logan's, if anything, gotten worse. But, I mean, it's definitely the younger crowd.
Do you know what really turned me off about those two? Is the way they talk about each other. They talk so negatively about each other.
They do.
And, I would never want my boys to speak about their brother like that.
No.
Your brother is the only person that you can honestly 100% should be able to trust around your women, your money, trust with your life. You should never say a bad word about your brother. And if you do, it should be in private to him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you deal with that kind of stuff, not on YouTube for millions of views.
And they do that regularly.
Regularly.
Yeah.
I saw that he was campaigning with this guy, and I was like, maybe I'm a step, a day late and $1 short on him. So I wanted to get your opinion. You also think he's trash?
Yeah, I think he's trash.
I don't think that's a good look for Vivek.
I don't think it is, man.
I don't think Vivek needs that.
No.
Why would you need to hang out with this guy?
Well, and I don't know. It just makes him seem kind of phony because Jake Paul's kind of phony. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't like that.
It seems like campaign clickbait.
Yes, exactly.
And Vivek has done this, waffled on this kind of stuff before when it comes to TikTok and that was also with the Pauls. Was that with Logan?
That was with Logan.
That was with Logan Paul. I would get away from the Pauls.
I would. Absolutely don't associate yourself with those two.
I feel like that's a poison pill.
Yep.
I also, on the flip side, I'm he's trying to mobilize and energize young voters. Ugh.
It's just a niche group, man. The Paul fans. I mean, you're talking about guys.
They get a lot of views.
Yeah, they do get a lot of... They're polarizing, yeah.
They get a lot of views.
Yes.
They move a lot of merch. They do the Prime energy drinks.
Yeah, Prime's
right?
huge right now.
The Prime drinks.
That's Jake's, yeah.
Yeah. I just still don't feel like it's a good look. And I like Vivek. This one, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's garbage, personally.
Yeah, I do too. Speaking with Breitbart News, Ramaswamy's campaign CEO, Ben Yoho, explained that his campaign is not slowing spending. Rather, it's merely relocating TV funds into other areas because a combined $93.8 million in TV spending between all candidates in Iowa alone to that point had caused little difference in the contours of the race. He says, all we've done is reallocated the money we had budgeted for broadcast and cable to those higher return on investment tactics that we've found to get our voters out, which allows us to do a lot more of it because they're cheaper things. Like addressable advertising is significantly cheaper than broadcast advertising. It's one of the reasons why he's doing the ads directly to people in Iowa as opposed to nationwide. I think it's smart to do it targeting in Iowa, but I feel like you're also carving up the audience. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, we say it here all the time. If I'm addressing a big issue in Tennessee that affects all Tennesseans, that's one thing. It hits the whole audience. But then if I go down smaller and I'm focusing on just something happening in Murfreesboro, near me in my hometown, it affects a lot less people. So there's a lot less interest. You know what I mean? Even though it could be a big issue.
Yeah, of course.
Even though it's important, there has to be a balance there.
Yeah, reach.
Yeah, so I don't know. How many people from Iowa are going to be watching the CNN poll? You know, you're going to have a nationwide audience, and then you're going to have even less from Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And then you're going to have the Vivek ads. I don't know. I like the ad. I don't know if it's going to move the needle for him. Just me. Ron DeSantis is also making news. I don't know if you saw this, but yesterday he tweeted something which was pretty weird, pretty strange. Ron DeSantis obviously is not into DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. He's not. But yesterday, from his official Governor Ron DeSantis account, he basically instituted DEI for Jewish students only. He said, today I'm directing Florida's colleges and universities to make it easier for Jewish students to transfer to a Florida higher education institution. While leaders of elite universities enable anti-Semitism, we will protect Jewish students and welcome them to Florida. Now, I get where his head's at, and I get his heart's probably in the right place. But on numerous occasions, he's tweeted things like this. In Florida, our higher education institutions will not be spending public dollars on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or other initiatives that promote an ideological agenda. As practiced, DEI represents discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination and has no place in a public institution. But when he says that today he's directing Florida's colleges, and this was tweeted yesterday, the 9th, right around 4 o'clock. He says, today I'm directing Florida's colleges and universities to make it easier for Jewish students to transfer to a Florida higher education institution. Does that not sound like diversity, equity, and inclusion? And you can replace it with any group. If he said Chinese, if he said Pakistani, it just seems like one group is now going to have an easier path to transferring to a Florida higher education institution, as opposed to what we've all been pushing for as conservatives, is this meritocracy where based on your merits, you will achieve and get opportunity. So a guy that says he's against promoting these kind of DEI agendas is, in fact, himself now pushing a DEI agenda. And maybe I'm wrong, and I'm open to the information and your take, but it seems like affirmative action. 615-737-9986. What do you think about this? Is Ron DeSantis, by creating an easier pathway for Jewish students to transfer to a Florida higher education institution, being hypocritical when he takes his stand against diversity, equity, and inclusion? I feel like it is. I feel like, diversity, equity, inclusion is bad, but favoring one group over another group in any circumstance is bad, and we need meritocracy, and that needs to be the focus. But it certainly seems like Ron DeSantis is placing a higher value now on Jewish students. Right? He's supporting one group over another. 6442 said, no, you're wrong, but there's nothing new about that. Oh, all right. Fair. I mean, 1440 says, I agree, supporting any group is excluding another. I just feel like we need to get back to meritocracy. Valerie in the borough, you're next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What do you think about the DeSantis tweet?
Well, I'm not sure if I quite understand. I don't look at it as diversity. I'm thinking it's more as an answer to combat discrimination against the Jewish students that's currently going on. That's how I take it.
But wouldn't that create a situation where students who have better scores may be left out of transferring to a Florida higher education institution over someone else because they're Jewish? He says he's going to make it easier for Jewish students. Wouldn't that in turn make it harder for others?
Well, he's saying he's making it easier, but is he necessarily saying that they're automatically going to be accepted? I mean, like I said, I guess I see it as more opportunity for them to transfer if they want to. I would assume they would still have to be qualified, but I think at this point, with so many people standing in opposition against, Israel and the Jews right now, it seems to me like he's just trying to make it easier for them to move forward without obstacles.
No, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing per se. But if you replace that, right, if we're doing the critical race theory, if we're doing the DEI, and if the same tweet said, today I'm directing Florida's colleges and universities to make it easier for African-American POC students to transfer to a Florida higher education institution, wouldn't conservatives be up in arms?
Probably, but I think right now there's not a problem. There's no opposition with black students right now.
But I think that you can't be against DEI for one and allow it for another. This to me feels like affirmative action.
You could be right.
And I could be wrong, too. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate your call. It is 9:53 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Taking more of your calls next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hunter Biden unexpectedly showed up at a House committee hearing this morning on holding him in contempt of Congress. Apparently, he didn't want to face questioning from a particular congresswoman from Georgia. You got to hear how she handled it coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's Chris Hand on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So, in July of 23, Ron DeSantis declared that DEI was dead in Florida. But yesterday, he directed Florida's colleges and universities to make it easier for Jewish students to transfer to a Florida higher education institution. Is this a form of DEI? I want to get your phone calls, your reaction on it, 615-737-9986. Let's go to Steve in the borough on DeSantis. You're next on Super Talk 99.7. What's up, Steve?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Brian. I think a great parallel to this would be like at the end of the Grinch movie, if the mayor of Whoville said, now that we're all friends, and the Grinch, we realize, has been persecuted his whole life, we'd like to invite all Grinches to come to Whoville. I think it's more of an invitation, and like a previous caller said, to really counter the negativity that's been out there and the anti-Semitism. I don't think it's favoritism, so I'm cool with it.
But he's directing Florida colleges and universities to make it easier. He's it seems like it's a decree.
Yeah, but there's no actual details as to how that's going to work out. I really feel like it's just a publicity stunt, first of all. But to say, hey, if you've been facing discrimination elsewhere, or you don't feel comfortable elsewhere, we welcome you to Florida. I really feel like it's more along that spirit.
Got you. No, that makes more sense. But, I originally took it on another flip-flop. Like, well, you flip-flopped on Ukraine, and now you're flip-flopping on woke policies.
Could be, but let's try to look for the positive.
Hey, man, I appreciate your call, Steve. Thanks so much. It is 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ten o'clock on the dot this Wednesday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got that full forecast with the possibility of snow in it coming up in 2 minutes. Right now in our nation's capital, Hunter Biden unexpectedly attended and then left the House committee hearing on holding him in contempt of Congress for ignoring last month's subpoena in the investigation into Biden family finances and alleged influence peddling. Hunter Biden with his attorney abruptly left when it was Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's turn to speak.
I think it's clear and obvious for everyone watching this hearing today that Hunter Biden is terrified of strong conservative Republican women.
Chairman James Comer telling Fox News he has the votes to get this resolution out of committee. A full vote on the House floor could come next week. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4 says a man admits he recorded women as they changed clothes at a local YMCA. A police report says a woman claims she caught that man in a personal changing room at the YMCA on Hillsborough Circle last month. She says the man police say the man then turned himself in and allegedly admitted to recording other women, and he's charged with unlawful photography. And the man involved in the attack on a judge in Las Vegas appearing in court on Tuesday, now charged with attempted murder. The law clerk who moved in to save the judge from her attacker. Speaking with ABC News, here's Kana Whitworth.
He's being hailed a hero. 27-year-old law clerk Michael Lasso, credited with saving a Las Vegas judge from a vicious courtroom attack, is speaking out for the first time.
It's just something you don't usually see in court. You see some crazy things, but nothing like this.
Lasso seen in the now viral video pulling the 6-foot, 190-pound defendant, Deobra Redden, off Judge Mary Kay Holthus.
That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. There's been a story that I wanted to talk about, which I feel like warrants more investigation that we haven't really seen. I've been waiting for more to come out on this, but I feel like I'm the skeleton in the rocking chair waiting for it. Have you heard about the tunnels under the synagogue in New York?
Yes, I saw quite a video on this. I'm glad that you're talking about this. I don't know a lot, but I've seen some viral videos.
Okay, so let's start with the AP report. All right, is that a good place to start? I know it's the Associated Press. It's kind of woke, but let's start from a place of understanding on what exactly it was. So there was a secret tunnel found in a New York City synagogue that led to a brawl between police and worshipers. So this was updated yesterday at 9 o'clock in the evening. A historic Brooklyn synagogue that serves as the center of an influential Hasidic Jewish movement was trashed this week during an unusual community dispute that began with the discovery of a secret underground tunnel and ended in a brawl between worshipers and police. The conflict erupted in the global headquarters of the Chabad Lubavitch movement, and I could be butchering that, and I apologize if I am, in Crown Heights, a deeply revered Jewish site that each year receives thousands of visitors, including international students and religious leaders. Its Gothic revival facade, immediately recognizable to adherents of the Chabad movement, has inspired dozens of replicas across the world. So this is an important spot. But on Tuesday, the synagogue remained closed off by police barricades as New York City building safety agents inspected whether a tunnel dug without official permission may have caused structural damage to the famed property. Officials and locals said young men in the community recently built the passage to the sanctuary in secret. When the group's leaders tried to seal it off Monday, they staged a protest that turned violent as police moved in to make arrests. So that's how the AP is reporting it. That officials and locals said young men in the community built the passage to the sanctuary in secret. And when the group's leaders tried to seal it off, they staged a protest that turned violent as police moved in to make arrests. This is how Breitbart has it. New York Police Department NYPD officers responded Monday to a clash at 770 Eastern Parkway, the headquarters of the global Chabad Lubavitch movement of Orthodox Jews, over an unauthorized tunnel that was found leading to a synagogue on site. The building is famous as the headquarters of the 7th Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. And again, I apologize if I'm butchering these names, who reinvigorated Judaism worldwide and who continues to inspire worldwide leaders, including Argentinian President Javier Milei. The influence was so powerful that a small group of adherents began to declare without his approval that he was the Messiah. Some continue to believe that, even 30 years after his death in 1994. The dispute has led to a physical rift at the movement's headquarters, in which the official leadership controls the building, but the other group controls the basement synagogue, where that rabbi used to pray. So the movement has been trying to obtain full control of the synagogue as well. According to The Forward, a tunnel was discovered in December that leads from the basement of a nearby building and through several other properties before emerging in the synagogue. The tunnel's precise purpose remains unclear, but it appears to have been dug over the past 2 years, likely by the group that controls the basement, with the intent of obtaining secret access to the synagogue at 770. When mainstream leadership brought in a construction company to fill the tunnel, clashes ensued, leading to 10 arrests. So they're reporting this as a clash between two groups, Breitbart is, at this synagogue. One controls the basement, one controls the main floor. It's fascinating. The AP says that the tunnel was built recently, but Breitbart's reporting that it was been constructed for 2 years. Originally, a lot of the reporting was saying that this tunnel was built during COVID because they wanted to make sure that they could get into their place of worship because the governments were shutting down synagogues. That was the first story on this that I heard, which I thought, oh, that makes sense. That would be a reason to dig a tunnel. I get it. But the reports don't answer a lot of questions that we're seeing. When you look at the footage of the tunnels being unearthed, and there's a lot of footage of these tunnels on Twitter, it's a little creepy to say the least. To say the least. You have a man walking down a narrow staircase into a dark, shadowy, dirty tunnel. Now, during the video in these tunnels, you see quite a few things. One thing that I noticed on this video was a baby high chair at about 30 seconds into this video of them exploring the underground tunnels. A baby's high chair. Just a little creepy. Another thing that I noticed as these videos were emerging, which is a question that hasn't been answered, 2 mattresses were pulled out of this tunnel at the synagogue in the original clash. One of the mattresses was a toddler mattress and had what appeared to be a stain on it that many people online are calling a blood stain. I don't know if it was blood, but I do know that nobody in the mainstream media has addressed any of these tiny toddler mattresses being pulled out of these tunnels. And I also know, based on past reporting from certain outlets that you may or may not view as credible, like Vice. Vice had an article back in 2013 that kind of detailed an issue among this community how do I say this the right way? Sexual abuse among minors. Vice had an article again in 2013 that was titled "The Child Rape Assembly Line Among Sects of Fundamentalist Jews." It could, and this is from another rabbi who is 63, Nuchem Rosenberg, 63-year-old man, long graying beard, sitting down with Vice to explain what he described as a child rape assembly line among sects of fundamentalist Jews. He cleared his throat. He said he's going to be graphic. The article is graphic. And it focuses on these branches of fundamentalist Orthodox Judaism in New York. So it shocks me that nobody's asking the question about a toddler mattress with what appears to be bloodstains and baby strollers or high chairs being found in these tunnels. And I find it a little bit odd and a little bit off-putting that nobody's discussing that. They say that at this synagogue that there's a history of sexually abused girls. In this Jewish Shabbat movement, which dug tunnels in New York City holding, where you could see in the videos a tiny soiled mattress, a high chair, they've been linked to child abuse. Herschel Pecker, one of its most prominent members, admitted in 1991 to doing things that shouldn't be done to a 5-year-old girl. The survivor of the alleged abuse, a 36-year-old woman living in Israel, is trying to get possession of her abuser's brass menorah, normally displayed at 770 Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, the same location of the tunnels. The August 27, 1991 ruling, which JTA reviewed, says that Pecker admitted to one unspecified offense, but not another. The defendant admitted that he did things that are not to be done, the ruling says in Hebrew. On the other hand, he did not admit to all, the heart of it, of the deception he was accused of. The rabbinical court said Pecker had been ordered to undergo treatment with an expert counselor, but had not submitted evidence showing that he had done so. The plaintiff's father wasn't satisfied with the court's ruling, but feeling helpless, he moved on, the plaintiff claims. So there's history of abuse in this synagogue. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but I do want an investigation. And it doesn't seem like we're getting an investigation. I've been waiting for news to come out of this, and it seems to me like it's just getting swept under the rug. Have you heard anything developing out of this since it's come about? I have not. And I would like more answers. The mainstream media is not covering this story at all. Not one bit. Which, and I hate to say it, but it's like the past history of mainstream media leads me to believe that there could be much more to this than meets the eye. And I don't know about you, but when I see a soiled, what appears to be blood-stained toddler mattress being pulled out of a tunnel, I don't care what building it's being pulled out of. I want some answers. You know, the crimes against children, this stuff is not a conspiracy any longer. This isn't a fringe theory. There's evidence to support that there's been abuse at this location. And it seems like nobody's asking these questions. Yet there's video footage that we can all view, that is authentic, that shows things that are just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. So I want more answers. I want more answers. Are we going to get more answers? It doesn't seem that way. It seems like it's being swept right under the rug. There's another aspect to this that people have been bringing up on the internet. Maybe it's not abuse, but there have been rabbis in the past arrested over organ trafficking. This is a July 24th, 2009 story from the Sydney Morning Herald saying U.S. agents have arrested 44 elected officials and Jewish rabbis in New Jersey in a huge anti-corruption sweep across the state. Charges of extortion, bribery, money laundering, and human organ trafficking were stunning, even for a state long notorious for official corruption and organized crime. 5 rabbis were among suspects, with the mayors of Hoboken, Secaucus, Ridgefield, and Jersey City, deputy mayor and council president, 2 state assembly members, and numerous other politicians, prosecutors said. Acting U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey, Ralph Mara, told a press conference that the sweep demonstrated the pervasive nature of public corruption in this state. The politicians willingly put them up for sale, he said, while clergymen cloak their extensive criminal activity behind a facade of rectitude. Raids began shortly after dawn on Thursday, officials said, targeting a who's who of state leaders. Television footage showed FBI and tax agents bringing a stream of handcuffed suspects, including rabbis wearing traditional Orthodox Jewish garb, into custody in the city of New York. Other suspects were being shown put onto a bus. The sweep is believed to be the biggest such actions ever in a state long associated with corruption and famous as the setting of the hit mafia television drama The Sopranos. This article, again, is from 2009. Officials said the arrests were part of an ongoing 10-year probe in the statewide corruption code named Bid Rig. Democrat state governor at the time, John Corzine, said the scale of corruption we're seeing as this unfolds is simply outrageous and cannot be tolerated. Any corruption is unacceptable anytime, anywhere, anybody, he said in a statement. FBI officials painted a picture of brazen criminality. Although New Jersey is famous for a history of Italian mafia families, it was Jewish clergy who allegedly played a central role in this crime network. Authorities raided several synagogues, and among those arrested was the chief rabbi of Syrian Jews in the United States. One rabbi was charged with conspiring to broker the sale of a human kidney for transplant. He'd allegedly been peddling kidneys for decades. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but I'm saying we're not going to know unless we get an official investigation. And it doesn't seem like we're going to get an official investigation. It seems like the entire story is being swept under the rug. And I have not seen one mainstream media reporter, journalist, anybody ask the question on why was there a toddler, what appears to be blood-stained mattress pulled out of the tunnel underneath that synagogue? It's a little off-putting. It's very dark. But there's at least evidence in the past that could warrant an investigation further into what we're seeing at this synagogue in these tunnels. And I, for one, hope we do, but I'm not holding out that much hope because it seems like this story is going away as quickly as it appeared. It's 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hear who showed up unexpectedly and then abruptly left a hearing in the influence peddling investigation of Joe Biden when he was vice president. These stories and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Thank you for joining the show. I'm appreciating all of your text messages at 615-737-9986. I love having Mac producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom, but you are the most important part of our crew. So we appreciate it. We got a lot of text coming in on those tunnels. As more stuff becomes available and more news comes to light on this, we'll keep you updated. I don't know if anything else will come of that. I do know that what's happening at the border is unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to talk about the latest updates on the border after Ken Weaver's newscast, including the latest in New York City. Pretty wild what they're doing in New York City. Plus, we have Hunter Biden crashing the contempt hearing. That's a pretty wild story. Hunter crashing his own contempt hearing.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nuts.
Why would he show up to that?
And then leave.
Yeah. A reporter asked him, "What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?"
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the audio right now. Somebody literally asked him that. That's a real thing that happened.
Wow. He's like Heisenberg.
Yeah. What's it? That blue magic,
baby. That blue magic, baby.
I'm trying to get it right now.
Wow. Yeah, I got to hear that.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes, we all need to hear that.
Yes.
Hold on. Is this it right here? Man, why is the internet always wonky in here? Is the internet being wonky for you too?
No, it's not wonky. Do you want me to see if I can?
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to you.
Okay.
Let's see if you can get this audio for me. Oh, hold on. Open up your Twitter account.
Okay.
His Twitter is Mac J. Maury, by the way. Just in case anybody wants to follow Mac.
You hit a follow, stay up with the podcast. I mean, do what you want, man.
Do what you want.
All right, give me a second.
All right. I send it to you. It's just not loading on my end. I want to get this on because who doesn't want to hear a reporter ask Hunter Biden what kind of crack he smokes? You know what I mean? That's what the American people want to hear.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's Parmesan cheese, sir. Parmesan cheese is what I recall it being. Do you remember that in the ABC News interview? Said, I've smoked more Parmesan cheese than anybody. That really happened.
Proud.
You got it on your end?
Okay, I lied. It's being wonky.
It's wonky,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I can't get it.
Okay, all right. At least it's not just me.
But we are going to get it.
We're going
Never
to
fear.
get it. We just don't have it.
You will hear what kind of crack Hunter Biden smokes. Never fear.
Allegedly.
Thank you.
While driving 170 miles per hour in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini that another country bought in a residential neighborhood? Allegedly.
Don't.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Did you also hear that Hunter Biden and his family, they've been basically debunked on his art lies? So James Comer said they oh, is that you?
That's me. My bad, boys.
A little dance.
This is a dance party.
Well, I was getting in a little cardio here before the bottom of the hour.
Well, James Comer has debunked what the White House said, that Hunter Biden wouldn't know any of the art buyer identities. James Comer is now saying that Hunter Biden knew 70% of the anonymous art buyers that purchased the famed Hunter Biden paintings, the exclusives. Hunter Biden knew the identities of 70% of his anonymous art buyers after the White House claimed he was not involved in the sale or discussion of the sale of the art, and that Hunter will not be informed of who is purchasing his art. That's what the White House originally said. But yesterday, the House Oversight Committee said, nah, that's not true. Hunter's art sales worry Republicans due to the often nefarious nature of the art world. Money laundering is a major issue in the industry, according to a 2020 Senate report. And some Republicans believe that Biden business laundered money. Did you know that people believe the Biden businesses laundered money? Shocking.
What?
What? The revelations show no evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden, the House Oversight Committee said. That's from Ranking Member Jamie Raskin. said Biden had no knowledge of or role in these art sales. But House Oversight Committee James Comer, chair, said that you've been deceived about the art sales and that they knew about 70% of the identities. Wild stuff. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Tell you about the potential for snow during the full forecast in 2 minutes. Right now in our nation's capital, debate underway to hold Hunter Biden in contempt for ignoring last month's subpoena to testify in the influence peddling investigation of his father when Joe Biden was vice president. Hunter Biden showed up unexpectedly, then abruptly left when it was Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's turn to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! And Hunter abruptly leaves the committee room with his attorney. A full House floor vote on contempt could come next week. Here in Nashville, Channel 4 says a man admits to police he recorded women changing their clothes at the Hillsborough Circle YMCA last month. He's charged with unlawful photography. The man came forward after a woman claimed she caught him holding a cell phone over the wall in a private changing room. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Now, we've had a little bit of rain. If you haven't been down in your crawl space, today is the perfect day to poke your head down there and see if you notice standing water in your crawl space. Maybe you're noticing wet basement walls, cracks in your basement floors. That is your house trying to tell you something. And if your house is trying to tell you something, give the guys at USS a call to check it out. They know exactly what to do to help you out. And you don't have to take my word for it. Take the word of Rod and Cindy in Charlotte. They called USS. They said it was the best Christmas gift ever after having actual nightmares about their old farmhouse caving in. USS told them not to worry. Their house is fine. It has good bones. They wish they called them sooner for their free estimate instead of making themselves crazy with anxiety. If you are crazy with anxiety over what to do with your crawl space, if you're crazy with anxiety because you have sinkholes on your property, or you're worried because you're probably going to need some basement wall realignment or crawl space floor supports, crawl space encapsulation, the guys to call are at USS. And they will walk through your home, give you a custom plan for your home, and you'll walk away from that meeting knowing these guys are the right ones for the job. I guarantee it. If you need to call these guys, the number, 615-488-7855. They have 25,000 satisfied customers in Middle Tennessee. They've been doing it since 1994. I am so confident that they can fix whatever issue your house is having. Call USS today, 615-488-7855, or online, USSTN.com.
Please, I'll answer your question if you be quiet and let me make a statement, okay?
What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
That's what we got.
Wow.
So it wasn't what kind of crack, it was how much crack.
Yeah, how much?
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's an open-ended question. How much crack do I have?
How much can I get my hands on?
The correct answer is all of it. That's the only answer if you're Hunter Biden. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's so depressing when you're dealing with the Biden administration. Crackhead sons. I feel like Dementia Hitler has been trending on Twitter for about 3 weeks now. Have you seen that trending? Dementia Hitler? It hasn't stopped trending. And now, he's crashing his own contempt hearings. Wild. Meanwhile, the border is still wide open. If you're keeping score at home, the border is still wide open. We had an update from, what's his name? Sheriff Brad Coe. He's out of Kinney County, Texas. And he was talking about the border and Mayorkas' visit. And this is what he had to say.
Venezuela trying to come in. Sheriff, the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas has said several times they have operational control of this border. Is that true?
There's no operational control of this. Yeah. None whatsoever. Of course, if you'd been here last week, there was literally tons and tons of trash, clothing, empty water bottles, food containers out here. But with the secretary coming down to visit yesterday, all this has been cleaned up.
They cleaned it all up because Mayorkas was down there yesterday. He needs to be impeached. And this is what they do anytime anybody visits the border, whether it's GOP members, whether it's Alejandro Mayorkas, whether it's President Joe Biden, they will clean it up. And that's one of the most infuriating parts of this whole saga is that they have displayed and demonstrated on multiple times, multiple occasions, that they can clean it up. They can stop the flow. They are actively choosing not to. They're choosing not to. The sheriff down there in Kinney County, Texas, Brad Coe, he was asked about Joe Biden and the border.
If you had the opportunity to talk to the president of the United States, what would you tell him?
To be honest with you, I don't know, because I don't know if he'd understand the severity of the situation. He's being told one thing, while obviously something else is happening. Yeah. But every time he's come to the border, especially El Paso, the migrant camps were emptied.
They cleaned them.
Cleared. They cleaned everything up, and he walked around and took a look and said, "There's nothing going on here."
That was one of the things that I loved about Trump. He says, Biden honestly don't know if he has any idea or if he understands the severity of the situation. Because people tell him one thing and he comes down here and it's all cleaned up. And the thing I loved about President Trump is that he was in the weeds, watching media, seeking out media, reading articles. He was so well informed on what was going on in the world that I don't think Trump relied on people telling him what was happening. He got and found his news himself. Could you imagine Joe Biden going through Twitter at 3 a.m.? It doesn't happen. Joe Biden is not seeing videos of what's happening at the border. So if somebody tells him, oh, it's just Republicans lying, I mean, maybe Joe Biden believes it. And as we've seen with his mental state, we can't trust him to do any of his own research. It's a sad state of affairs we're in. Jim in Coffee County has a border solution. You're on Super Talk. What's up, Jim?
In Article 1, Section 10, the last sentence of the U.S. Constitution, it says, no state shall engage in war unless they're being invaded. The governor of Texas can use this power in the Constitution to ring the border, put bullets in the water, put megaphones out there telling people if they cross, they're going to be shot, and it will stop.
Yeah, I mean,
but people, you need to be talking about solutions to this. Everybody, we've been talking about how bad it is for 3 years, but that's a solution until Donald Trump gets in there, and you can save another 5 million people from coming across that border in drugs and death and destruction.
Well, they have laws. They have laws on the books to stop it. You know, they can reinstate remain in Mexico. They can stop catch and release. They could stop it very quickly. I think one of the things that's infuriating
me. The governor of Texas can do it.
Yeah, but
we don't need the feds.
But the governor of
Texas can do it.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm with you. But the governor of Texas is also putting the buoys in the water. He's also given authority to the local police and local judges, state level, to arrest and deport illegal aliens.
It's not stopping 15,000 people a day from coming up there and crossing. It's not working.
But he's also but he's also being sued by the federal government and hamstrung at every step of the way by them.
Well, the Supreme Court would cure it because he has the absolute right to do that. It's in the Constitution is the supreme law of the land.
I'm with you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Jim. Jim's right. We could solve it very quickly, but it's going to take the federal government to actually be on board to stop it this quickly, and the federal government isn't on board to stop it quickly. The federal government is actively trying to stop the states from protecting themselves. We've seen it in Arizona with their shipping container border wall. We've seen it with the buoys. We've seen it with wanting to sue Texas over allowing state officials, sheriffs, police officers to be able to arrest people for crossing into this country illegally. And the federal government is actively standing in the way of it because they want new voters. They want new voters. There was a New York Democrat Congresswoman, Clark. She said the quiet part out loud on TV.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. We have a diaspora that can absorb a significant number of these migrants. And when I hear colleagues talk about, the doors of the inn being closed, no room in the inn, I'm saying, I need more people in my district, but just for redistricting purposes. Oh. And those members could clearly fit here.
I need more people in my district just for redistricting purposes. Oh, okay. They're replacing you. They hate you. And it's never been on more clear display than what we saw last night. In New York, it honestly infuriated me. Do you know what they did in New York City?
No.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. There was a school, and they decided that they were going to put the kids on remote learning. Do you want to know why they decided to put the kids on remote learning?
Well, yes, I do.
It was because this school in Brooklyn, James Madison High School, they're dropping off illegals. School's closed today because the illegals will be sleeping in the school gym. So kids have to go to remote learning because they need the school for illegal aliens. I have the video on my Twitter if you want to see it, at Chris Hand on Air. Buses upon buses, 2,000 illegal aliens taking over James Madison High School in New York. Just taking over the school. Your kids got to go to remote learning. No big deal. Don't ask questions. Now, the New York City schools, it seems, were preparing for this for weeks. For weeks. For the illegals to take over schools. In November, parents in the New York City school districts were notified about a remote learning readiness plan in case the need for remote learning came up. At the time, a lot of parents thought this was a COVID thing, that they were going to ramp that up. But as we see, this remote learning plan was really because illegal aliens were coming in to take over the schools because of cold weather. This is the same area in New York City where they had the illegal aliens take over the soccer fields and take soccer away from the kids. Now they're having illegal aliens come in and take school away from the kids. In-person schooling. I mean, I have a letter right here. New York City Public Schools. Dear families, New York City Public Schools is initiating a remote learning readiness plan to support and improve schools' readiness in the event a transition to remote learning is necessary. There are several steps to be taken in preparation for the implementation of this practice plan that are outlined below. They practiced this on December 6th. Here we are on January 10th. And the kids in New York City at James Madison High School have had their school taken away for illegal aliens. Illegal aliens. This is what's happening. I don't know how much lower we can sink. No school for you. Nope, no big deal. You know how much it costs per year, per student in New York City?
Oh, geez, I'm sure it's astronomical.
$35,000. $35,000.
Wow.
Yep. It's pretty expensive homeschooling. 2,000 illegal aliens took over James Madison High School. This was ahead of a thunderstorm. They took those illegal aliens that were at Floyd Bennett Field, the ones that took over the soccer fields, so that way kids couldn't play soccer in New York, and put them into this Brooklyn High School's gymnasium. This is what the Democrats are doing in these major blue cities. As a result, James Madison High School principal Jody Cohen notified parents, students, and faculty that they would be going virtual on Wednesday to accommodate these illegal aliens. I am writing with an update regarding the activation of James Madison High School as a temporary overnight respite center due to the forecast of potential high winds and flooding conditions beginning this evening through tomorrow morning. They took away the kids' schools for illegal aliens. Republican Thomas Sullivan, who's running for New York State Assembly, said the move by Mayor Eric Adams doing this is proof that the city's migrant crisis is unsustainable. Yeah, I think we're past unsustainable at this point. I think we're venturing into downright criminal. Likewise, New York City Councilwoman Inna Vernikov posted on Facebook that the students are being punished and forced to bear the brunt of the illegal alien crisis perpetrated by Joe Biden. They were dismissed early and are fully remote today because migrants from Floyd Bennett are at the school tonight to weather the storm. This is unacceptable. Stop this now and take the illegal aliens into Gracie Mansion, which is, where Mayor Eric Adams resides. They honestly, the left hates you. They value illegal aliens more than your kids. This is on full display. The federal government has taken over a high school and put kids on remote learning in New York City and the local government. But it's because of the failures of the federal government. And who are they bringing in? Not the best. Not the best. They're bringing in terrorists from all over the world, Chinese nationals, people that hate this country. Did you see what happened in Ecuador with the cartels?
Negative.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you what happened in Ecuador with the cartels. Because these are the type of people that they're inviting into our country. They're not vetting, and they're letting take over a high school in New York City. Like, I'm honestly, like, pissed. Like, this is when it really aggravates me the most, is when it starts affecting the kids of this country. Like, we should be defending the youth in this country at all costs. And every single time, from COVID to this now illegal alien crisis, the kids have taken the short end of the stick. And it should be criminal. These officials should be charged with crime. They should be removed from office. They should be arrested. I am beyond myself that they think that this is okay to do to kids in New York City. We've already proven after COVID that remote learning doesn't work. It's useless, and it hurts the kids. Hey, let's give the school to the illegal aliens. That'll work. That's a great idea. Great idea. And the illegal aliens that we're taking in, we know they're cartel members. Ecuador was actually just overrun by the cartel. I'll tell you what happened after the break. It's 10:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
We have learned that former President Trump has requested to deliver closing arguments himself tomorrow in the New York civil fraud case. And Hunter Biden made a surprise appearance today. You got to hear how that went down. Coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. We're talking about illegal aliens taking over James Madison High School in New York City. The kids have been sent home, remote learning. They're prioritizing illegal aliens in this country over the children of this country. Fascinating. Got a text here from 3040. Chris, they're doing it to schools because it's about the dumbing down of Americans and keeping them there so they can stay in control. Also got a text. Why not put them in Madison Square Garden? Well, Billy Joel's in concert tomorrow night, so you can't cancel Billy Joel. No, cancel school, right?
Of course, yeah.
I got another text talking about, Keith sent it in, not to mention the parents who are going to have to make arrangements for someone to stay with their kids while they work or take off work themselves, I'd add. It's crazy. Crazy. And the people coming into this country, we know, not the best. The cartels are bringing a lot of these people here. We know the cartels are operating within our country. And the cartels in Ecuador, my goodness, did you see what happened yesterday? Ecuador was overrun by cartels. Overrun. This is what it sounded like in Ecuador. The cartels took over a news TV station at gunpoint. They took over the news channel. Terrible trigger discipline, by the way. Like, if I noticed one thing out of all the videos with the cartels have no trigger discipline.
They're firing.
No, just like they're right on the trigger. Just
yes.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah.
Terrible trigger discipline. But the cartels overran the city. They hijacked a news station while it was live on TV. They were taking over prisons. They helped a cartel leader escape prison. They've been taking hostages. There's been bombings. They've been executing police in multiple cities. These are the same regions. Ecuador is in the same region where we've had, millions of unknowns coming from and sneaking into our country.
Yeah, all of them young military-age men.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's weird.
I mean, we can see it in our country. The crime, the cartels, we know they're here. And you can look towards the south of us in Ecuador and see what they do in these countries. When they gain enough power, they gain enough numbers, they're hijacking news channels on live TV. Like, could you imagine a cartel busting up in here and taking over the radio station?
Unfortunately, yes.
This is a real thing. This is happening in the world where we have people coming from and sneaking into our country. And these are the same people that they're deciding and prioritizing that public schools in New York City belong to over kids in America. It is an absolute travesty. Mayorkas needs to be impeached. He should be arrested. Biden needs to be impeached. The GOP needs to get a spine. We need to do more than what we're doing right now. It's absolutely infuriating. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11 o'clock on the dot this Wednesday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. And right now, the breaking news. Former President Donald Trump is requesting to deliver closing arguments himself tomorrow in the New York civil fraud case. It will be up to the judge, and Trump's lawyers would have to meet certain conditions. Reports say the judge is okay with it, and he's just waiting for Trump's lawyers' reply to the court by the end of business today. New York Attorney General Letitia James is asking the judge to fine Trump over $370 million. Right now in our nation's capital, this is South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace when Hunter Biden crashed the contempt of Congress hearing for skipping last month's deposition in the investigation into his father's alleged influence peddling when he was vice president.
My first question is, who bribed Hunter Biden to be here today? That's my first question. Second question, you are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of?
Full floor vote in the House could come next week. Elsewhere in D.C., Tennessee Congressman Mark Green chairing the first hearing on impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary over the border crisis.
Our evidence makes it clear. Secretary Mayorkas is the architect of the devastation that we have witnessed for nearly 3 years.
Democrats pushing back. Mississippi Congressman Benny Thompson.
This is not a legitimate impeachment.
Learn more during the Matt Murphy Show when Congressman Green joins Matt live at 2:05 on Supertalk 99.7 WTN today. Well, a Pittsburgh-based space cargo company's been forced to admit its mission to the lunar surface has failed. Jim Ryan says a mechanical malfunction will keep Peregrine 1 from reaching the moon.
The company behind the mission, Astrobotics, says a valve failed shortly after launch Monday, allowing propellant to leak out into space. Instead of racing off to the moon, the lunar lander will become another piece of space debris after its batteries die in the next few days. The next uncrewed mission to the moon is to launch next month.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Have you seen the temperatures coming next week? Oh, my gosh. 11 degrees on Monday, 0 on Tuesday, 5 on Wednesday. If your heater is not working the way it needs to be, you are going to be feeling it if you wait until then. But don't wait for that problem to pop up with your heat this time of year. Be proactive. Keep your unit in tip-top shape. Now, whether you are late on your annual maintenance and you need to get it, maybe you need your system repaired, or maybe you need a replacement system. Plumbing, heating, or air. Call who I trust. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. My heater went out a while back, and we were using our gas-powered fireplace, and it didn't heat the house the way it should. If you're in a similar situation, don't wait for these temperatures to plummet next week. Call Busy Bee today. Plus, if you need to replace your system, you're not going to find a better value on replacement systems. They offer up to 12 months, no payment, no interest with approved credit, and it pays in so many ways to sign up for that annual maintenance on your plumbing, heating, and air systems from Busy Bee. And you can get added rewards and savings too. Sign up to be a Beehive member today. You'll get that thorough annual maintenance on your plumbing, heating, and air systems. You'll get no overtime charges, 24/7, and 10% off all repairs. Plus, they do have convenient Saturday availability, so if you want to get your heater serviced before these temperatures drop next week, they can come see you on Saturday. So you'll never be left out in the cold. Busy Bee, they're your Rude Pro partner. For satisfaction guaranteed, call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. And online, busybeehvac.com. 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mike in Portland wants to talk about Hunter. You're next on Super Talk. What's up, Mike?
Hello.
What's going on, man? How are you? Thanks for holding. I appreciate it.
Great. I would like to know why Hunter Biden wasn't arrested as soon as he walked in there. If I went into my local courthouse in violation of a subpoena, they'd walk me right out of the courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, they should have done it. I would have liked to see that myself. I don't know why they didn't do that. It seems like a lot of these guys, on the Republican side, it's a lot of talk.
Well, yeah, these are the guys I would vote for. The Democrats, I kind of expect, their actions, but the Republicans need to basically grow a spine and follow the law that we're expected to abide by.
Yeah, and we've been saying this on not just Hunter, on every single situation lately, whether it's the Trump being removed from the ballot. Is any Republican or conservative state Secretary of State's going to step up and remove Biden from the ballot? When it comes to the border, is anybody going to step up and do something on the border? It seems like the Republicans are just Democrats going the speed limit.
Well, yeah, basically, the next renovation of the Capitol needs to flip the bowl upside down to look like the toilet it is.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call, Mike. I really appreciate it. 615-737-9986 if you want to chime in. 615-737-9986. I need to flip the bowl upside down the Capitol to look like the toilet it is. Absolutely right. I will say this, we're seeing attempts to remove Trump from the ballot, and at every other turn, we're seeing dismissals of attempts to remove him from the ballot. This happened in Nevada. They were trying to remove him from the ballot in Nevada. The Trump campaign celebrated a victory yesterday. A federal judge in Nevada dismissed a lawsuit challenging Trump's eligibility to be on the state's ballot. U.S. District Judge Gloria M. Navarro found on Monday that John Anthony Castro, a Republican presidential candidate from Texas, lacked legal standing to challenge Trump's eligibility. So he's still on the ballot in Nevada. It's good news. The more that we see them attack Trump, the more it fails. But that doesn't stop the Biden administration. The Biden administration is still going after him every chance they get. They should focus on their own messaging. They have nothing to stand on, though. There's no big wins, and they don't blame anybody. They never look in the mirror and blame themselves. They blame everybody else. The Biden White House has actually blamed the media for the public sour mood on the economy. Oh, it's the media's fault. The media that's in their back pocket, right? It's unbelievable. They say a small army of establishment media types and economists have engaged themselves in the task of unraveling what they take to be great mysteries for our time, why the public is so unhappy with the state of the economy, and why the public is not more grateful to President Joe Biden for the state of the economy. And they say the seeming disconnect between consumer sentiment and the state of the macro economy has been a defining characteristic of the post-COVID economy. That's from the Brookings Institute. They say the White House and the president himself have repeatedly offered up a conspiracy theory explanation. The problem, they say, is that the media is too negative about Biden's economy. Yeah, it's the media is too negative. It's not that you have eyes to see what's happening. It's no. The media is too negative about the economy. So if only the news media would accentuate the positive, as the old saying had it, then the public would realize how good they really have it. This is how the Biden administration actually feels. They think the economy is doing good. Now, the Biden campaign is obviously upset because it's been reported that they are routinely meeting with reporters off the record to tell them what they're getting wrong. Oh, yes. Transparency, right? The Biden reelection campaign has been taking reporters and editors from corporate media outlets to Wilmington, Delaware, in off-the-record trips on the Biden team's agenda to instruct the reporters on what they're getting wrong. with campaign officials invoking a coverage spreadsheet that discusses where the team believes the outlet's reporting is not up to par. This is a report from Semaphore, and it details that the employees from outlets such as the Washington Post, New York Times, and others have been given coverage spreadsheets to let journalists know where the campaign believes the outlets have done poorly. Biden officials are feeling that the outlets have been focusing too much on the legal battles associated with President Donald Trump and that they aren't paying as much attention to Trump's statements on the campaign trail. A source familiar with the meetings told Semaphore that the meetings with Biden campaign have been substantive and productive, except for a meeting with the New York Times. Semaphore also reported that Biden staffers would be meeting with other corporate media outlets in coming days, including NBC, ABC, Fox, The Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, NPR, Reuters, and others at the campaign headquarters in Wilmington. We are so lucky that Elon Musk owns Twitter now and that we at least have one spot for free speech. Just one, but we are so lucky. In addition to this latest development about the Biden campaign telling corporate media how to function, Biden scolded reporters just a couple weeks ago about the economy, saying that they should be covering it the right way.
About the economy, sir, what's your outlook on the economy next year?
All good. Take a look. Start reporting it the right way.
Start reporting it the right way. Well, we'll cover it in our meeting. These off-the-record meetings are coming at a time when Biden's approval rating is pretty low. And the latest head-to-head polls with Trump and Biden reported on by RCP indicate, Real Clear Politics, indicate that Trump is ahead with a little over 2 points on average nationally if the election were to be held today with just the two candidates. And when Robert Kennedy is added to the mix, Trump is up as well. But they are so scared. They don't have the control of the information anymore. They don't. And they're nervous. But I don't want to start counting chickens before they hatch. I think we still have a lot of issues, especially when it comes to mail-in voting, when it comes to ballot harvesting. We are not ready as conservatives to deal with these issues. We need to fix voting in general. You know what Argentina did under Javier Milei? They've implemented single-day voting, handmade ballot boxes, paper ballots, and photo ID. Shouldn't the United States do the exact same thing? Shouldn't they? People will say, well, the United States is so much bigger. The United States is so much bigger than Argentina. It's easy for Argentina to do this. They have a smaller population. Okay. All right, word. Elections in India. They have a bigger population than us. They have one-day voting, photo ID required, 620 million voters. They get their results within hours. Hours. If they can do it in India, then you would have to argue that they could do it here. But I do fear that we're going to see more of those delays and, quote unquote, voting irregularities as we hit the general in November. I can't be the only one that feels like that. It seems like, we're all just patiently waiting for them to stop counting votes in the middle of the night. Because that could be the only way that this guy wins. He has no accomplishments to stand on. None. And they keep attacking Trump. They are terrified of Trump. Terrified. There's a new poll out, Morning Consult poll. It shows Trump has been more popular than Biden for 10 straight weeks. Former President Trump's net favorability remains superior to President Joe Biden's. Morning Consult found Tuesday an extraordinary finding amid a bevy of legal onslaughts against Trump. The polling represents the 10th week in a row that Trump is ranked more popular than Biden. The survey found that Trump's net favorability was 4 points greater than Biden's. That poll sampled about 2,000 voters from January 4th to January 6th with a 2-point margin of error. Since Biden became president, 4 indictments have hit Trump. County court in Manhattan, New York, federal court in Miami, federal court in D.C., and county court in Fulton County. And together, these indictments account for 91 counts. Trump is still up. Still up. But it doesn't stop Democrats. Jamie Raskin still goes on TV and says that Trump's legal arguments are ludicrous. It's ludicrous. He actually went on with Wolf Blitzer on the Situation Room on Tuesday, and he said the presentation in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals before the 3-judge panel was astounding. Donald Trump and his lawyers essentially asserted that the president has the right to assassinate people, to kill people, without any prospect of prosecution, unless they're first impeached by the House and convicted in the Senate. This is what they're putting on Mockingbird media like CNN to try and discredit Trump. Trump thinks he can kill people. Meanwhile, you hear journalists who are outside these court cases getting caught on hot mic joking about actually assassinating Trump.
I mean, if he's driving, we've got a good shot.
Yeah, if he's driving with the front window open.
Yeah. Or if it's a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. Like if he just pulls up
like JFK. It's like a JFK, a Lincoln.
No, I wasn't. Oh.
Maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out.
So they're joking, saying, "Oh, if he was driving, we could get a nice shot." Now, I'll be fair. I think that those journalists are honestly just joking. I don't think anybody that would be plotting an assassination would be doing it near a hot mic. Although it wouldn't shock me if somebody was trying to make those plans against Trump, and I don't think it would shock you either. But these journalists are joking, and when they're talking about getting a shot, I tend to lean on the fact that they're talking about a camera. But they do talk about JFK.
Maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out.
I mean, it's hard to argue that they're not joking about the president being shot. If these were conservative journalists joking about Joe Biden, do you think that the media would cover this in a fair and unbiased way? No, it'd be MAGA extremists want to assassinate Joe Biden. If it was Laura Loomer out there joking about this, talking about President Biden, do you think it would be covered the same way? But the fact of the matter is, with people joking about it openly like that, it reveals how far people think the left is willing to go to get rid of Trump. It's revealing that the public discourse is openly joking about that because every good joke has a grain of truth, right? Everybody thinks that this is an actual possibility because everything that they're trying to do to get rid of this guy doesn't work. They try to link him to Epstein. It gets proven that it's that there's no there. They try to indict him. His popularity goes up. They release the mugshot. Everybody buys T-shirts. Nothing they're doing is working against this guy. They are running out of options to get rid of Trump. And meanwhile, we have evidence against the Biden crime family, and the Republicans do nothing. We have evidence against Alejandro Mayorkas, and the Republicans do nothing. We have a wide open southern border, and it just feels like all the Republicans do is talk. It's hard to blame the left when our side doesn't step up and do what needs to be done. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's 11:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
News 2 says Metro Police have given the all clear, says a bomb threat at Donaldson Middle School was not credible. And we'll tell you why the world may be focused tomorrow on a courtroom in New York. And yes, it involves former President Trump. All this and more at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Appreciate you guys on the Super Text line, 615-737-9986. Appreciate you guys following me on Twitter, Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air, and listening to us wherever you go with the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app. Yes, Hunter Biden showed up at his contempt of court hearing. Just popped in. Wanted to say hi. Democrat Rep. Jared Moskowitz said it was actually a pretty smart move for Hunter to do that.
You know in advance that Hunter Biden would be coming this morning? Was this coordinated?
No, I didn't have any advanced knowledge, but, seeing how, he came and did the press conference last time, I mean, that was a pretty aggressive strategy. So my colleagues, quite frankly, across the aisle should have expected something based on that previous move by Hunter. That being said, I think it was pretty smart for him to come and show the American people that my colleagues across the aisle actually don't want the truth to get out. They just want to continue to spin.
I love how he says that we don't want the truth. We don't want the truth to get out. But when he was starting to be asked questions by Comer, he stormed out of the hearing.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Sorry, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
So Hunter, as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene starts talking, Hunter jumps up and storms away. Gotta go.
See ya.
He didn't want to be there if she started showing more naked pictures of him, I think. Do you think she was ready? Do you think she has those on standby just in case? The scene when he stormed out of the courtroom turned into chaos quick.
Why did you show up today?
Mr. Biden, did you show up to testify?
Why did you show up today? Why did you put your dad on speakerphone if he had nothing to do with your business? You put him on speakerphone multiple times to talk to your business partners. Why did you do that?
You can hear his handler. Just keep walking. Just keep walking.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently.
Oops, sorry. I got too many tabs open. hit the space bar. It's going nuts. I'm trying to keep track of everything that's happening this morning, and it's insane. So the Republican lawmakers confronted Hunter Biden at the hearing to hold him in contempt of Congress for defying a congressional subpoena. And in what appeared to be a public relations stunt, Hunter, along with his lawyer and his so-called sugar brother, Kevin Morris, they showed up at the hearing. And then as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene started talking, he dipped. He dipped. Congressional leaders could have sent the House Sergeant at Arms to arrest and detain him. They could have for failing to comply with a subpoena. But they didn't. I would have. Nancy Mace roasted him. She said, you are the epitome of white privilege. You have no balls. I think Hunter Biden should be arrested right here, right now. That's what she said while staring at the president's son.
I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now, because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power of a congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refuse to comply with a congressional subpoena accountable.
But Republicans did not hold him accountable today. They could have. They could have had him arrested. But they bailed as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene started talking. She said, he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward. And then it was chaos outside the courtroom. A majority of Democrat voters say Hunter Biden should comply with the House impeachment inquiry's lawful subpoena, appearing for both a closed-door deposition and a public testimony. And if he does not, he should be prosecuted. That was a Harvard Caps Harris poll. House investigators announced they would probe the Biden family in November of 22. They later revealed Joe Biden received money from James and Hunter Biden. They know and also showed that 9 additional Biden family members received payments from the family's foreign business ventures, including 2 of Joe Biden's grandchildren. And we've seen so much evidence and so little progress. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Former President Trump requesting to deliver closing arguments himself tomorrow in the New York civil fraud trial, where the judge is being asked to fine him $370 million. In our nation's capital, Ann Flaherty covering the contempt of Congress hearing of the investigation of alleged influence peddling when Joe Biden was vice president.
Hunter Biden's surprise visit on Capitol Hill didn't sit well with House Republicans who called it a political stunt. South Carolina Republican Nancy Mace told Hunter she wants him to, quote, go straight to jail.
You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth.
The president's son has said he's willing to testify if the hearing is open to the public.
Not far from there, Tennessee Congressman Mark Green is chairing the hearing on impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over the southern border crisis. Congressman Green joins WTN's Matt Murphy show live today after the news and weather at 2:05. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
You plan ahead for the weather. You plan ahead for travel plans, vacations. You even probably plan ahead for lunch. So if you aren't planning ahead for your financial future, what are you doing? It's one of the biggest priorities you need to have. Your financial future is so important. It's kind of underrated. What are you going to do for retirement? Do you have kids? Are you paying for college down the road like me? Hopefully, maybe some weddings. Do you have that planned out? If you don't, you're not alone. I didn't have a plan until I linked up with Paul Winkler and Paul Winkler Inc., and I'm so happy I did. Now, Paul and his team hold themselves to a higher level of fiduciary standard than is required. Because of that, I got to tell you, I'm paid every time this commercial airs. That's the truth. But that's not why I decided to become a client of Paul's. I decided to become a client of Paul's because when I got to sit down with him, have lunch, and realize he's the same guy that he is on his radio show, smart, honest, and legit, I was all in. He can answer my financial questions in a way that I can understand him. He can break it down for a guy like me to understand. He's a smart guy. He knows the financial world better than I do. And with Paul and his team, nothing is done on commission. That was huge for me. It gave me that reassurance that whatever advice they give me is for me, not for them, because nothing is done on commission. He's made my family's financial goals way more realistic by explaining what to do and why, and he can do the exact same thing for you and educate you along the way. The investment education they provide is backed by Nobel Prize-winning research. So if you don't have a financial plan for your future, it's time to start planning, and you should plan with Paul Winkler, Inc. Every office is run by a degreed planner with over 20 years of experience. So do what I did. Talk to one of his team members. You can set up that complimentary 15-minute phone call right now on his website, paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com, or call 615-851-1950. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. There's been a story that I've been meaning to get to. Have you heard that there's beef between KJP and John Kirby?
Oh no!
Yeah,
beef from within.
The big beef. So Karine Jean-Pierre, she was hired because she was the best person for the job.
Course,
had nothing to do with being an African American lesbian, the first ever African American lesbian White House press secretary. But she's actually getting allegedly a little angry. She says that she plans to stay as Biden's press secretary until the end of his term, but is angry that John Kirby is getting more and more time at the podium. It's like, you hired me for my qualifications. Why am I splitting time with John Kirby? And if you notice, the White House press secretary has had John Kirby by her side for press briefings nearly every single day since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. She doesn't do it alone anymore. It used to be just her in that big old notebook. But now John Kirby's there, and he gets more and more airtime. And there's word that that's not going to end anytime soon. And that old cringy Jean-Pierre is frustrated with sharing the podium with the National Security Council's John Kirby. Axios reported this, tensions between KJP and John Kirby. She's actually only appeared solo one time since the October 7th attack. My mistake. And it made sense why Kirby was brought in. He has more foreign policy experience, and that's why he's kind of been front and center since then. But the report said that Jean-Pierre was weary of Kirby from the beginning. She knew he wanted that clout.
Get out of my spotlight.
That's what she did. That she's upset about it. To be perfectly honest, I've been upset with it too.
Oh, with the spotlight, you need more?
No.
I need to turn off my... Okay.
No,
I'll stop.
Not you. With KJP having to share the podium with Kirby.
You want more KJP?
I need more KJP.
Yeah, we all need more KJP
you down with KJP? Yeah, you know me. She's much more fun. And she's had less time to be fun. Allegedly, when Biden told KJP she was being promoted to press secretary in 2022, he awkwardly, it's the Boston sneaking out of it. Awkwardly told her that Kirby, the then Pentagon spokesperson, would be joining the team as well. 3 sources told Axios that Jean-Pierre left the meeting upset and confused about whether she had the job and what Kirby's position would be. And now she's even more frustrated. Kirby was a veteran government spokesperson who had been the State Department's flack during former President Donald Trump's administration before coming over to the Pentagon for Biden. After Biden told Jean-Pierre about the job, White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain met with her and reassured her that she had the press secretary gig while working out an arrangement alongside senior advisor Anita Dunn. The report also said the reason why Jean-Pierre and Kirby are sharing the podium is because Biden likes it. Kirby has developed a close relationship with the 81-year-old president, and Biden has asked him to travel on board Air Force One on both foreign and now domestic trips. Behind the scenes, Kirby has told people that he wishes to be press secretary. John Kirby wants the gig, though a White House official told Axios that Kirby never volunteers this information. The same official also brushed off reports of tension between the spokespeople. I don't recognize this description of their relationship at all. The truth is the opposite. They talk all the time. I don't know. I feel like it would be hard to get along with KJP, just in general. But some of KJP's allies told the news organization that the arrangement has made her job difficult and harder. And some black Democrats in the administration and on Capitol Hill said the optics were insulting, as it appeared that the first black press secretary needed her hand held in foreign policy issues by a white man. So it's racism, too. There's the hint of racism in all of this. She needs her hand held by a white man. Others are critical of Jean-Pierre's performance, including recent gaffes in which she was asked about rising anti-Semitism and gave an answer about Islamophobia instead. Jean-Pierre continues to control the briefings, picking which reporters ask Kirby questions, a practice he has become irritated by. He can't call on his own reporters. When National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan takes over the podium, he's allowed to call on reporters, but KJP has not extended this privilege to Kirby. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, the next press secretary briefing, because is she actually calling on you next?
Yeah.
As I haven't noticed that, but that would be interesting. Sources told Axios that they believed that that was further evidence of KJP being insecure. The report also stated that Jean-Pierre had a bumpy relationship with her principal deputy, Olivia Dalton. Dalton has voiced frustration that she hasn't gotten the opportunity to brief from the podium despite several months of practice sessions. Jean-Pierre's deputy has only conducted one White House press briefing, though has gaggled on Air Force One more frequently recently. A White House aide who's worked closely with both women knocked down reports of any tension, saying they've been friends for over a decade and have a strong relationship. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. Who do you believe? I feel like it would be hard to get along with KJP.
Gotta be.
She and to claim racism. She's getting her hand held by a white man. How could you? It's like, but she also can't speak. I'm not going to cover that from the podium. That's usually her answer. Do you think she's going to answer any questions today about Hunter Biden showing up to the hearing?
Oof. Gosh, yeah. What sort of scripted comment will she have ready?
She's probably going to say something like, I'm going to leave that up to Hunter Biden's counsel.
Yep.
All right, before we wrap up today, there's more happening tonight. So we got Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be on Timcast IRL, okay? At the same time that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are going to be on a CNN debate. I did air quotes, if you're listening. And then Donald Trump has a town hall on Fox News. Trump probably isn't going to post a bunch of stuff, right? Maybe on Truth Social, he'll post some clips.
Yeah.
It's not really his style. What's the over-under for debate clips being posted by DeSantis and Nikki Haley?
Combined?
So, all right, let's do Nikki Haley. What's the over-under? I mean, we probably should set it at like 2.
Yeah, I was going to say 2. A little higher than last time. Let's go 2.
A little higher than last time.
Yeah.
She'll probably post 2 clips. What about DeSantis?
DeSantis, he did 8 last time.
He did 8 for his town hall.
For his own.
And that's right where we set the bar.
Yeah. I think maybe a hair lower.
I would probably go lower too.
Yeah,
I think we should set the bar at like 6.
I like 6 too. I think 6 is great.
So we have the bar for Nikki Haley posting clips from the debate on social media at 2.
2.
We have the bar for DeSantis at 6. Do you go over under on Nikki Haley?
I'm going to take the over this time.
You're going to take the over?
I'm going to be risky here. I'm feeling it.
All right,
Big money.
I'm taking the under on Nikki Haley.
Ooh, okay, I can't wait.
DeSantis clips on social media. We have the bar set at 6. You taking the over? You taking the under?
I think I'll go over. Oh, I don't know. That's tough. I think so.
He posted a lot last night.
I know. That's why I'm like, maybe he won't tonight.
You know, and that's like, I feel like I might take the under on DeSantis, but I feel like that's a bad move.
Neither of them are going to look good tonight, right?
No,
no one's like winning this.
But nobody's watching either.
It's a great point. It's
a
great point. It's on CNN.
Ugh.
Yay. They're going to get harder questions too, probably. I'd imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the moderators are going to be fans of either of them.
No.
They'll probably like Nikki Haley more than Ron.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll give Nikki Haley more opportunities?
Yeah, they edge, which is why I took the over on the posts. See, This is it. Now my logic's making sense.
All right, so I'm still going under on Nikki Haley. I think she's a one-clip kind of gal, and I'm going to go under on DeSantis as well. All right, so the bar is set at 2 for Haley, 6 for DeSantis. I'm going under on both.
71.59 is correct, and I thought this too. You've got to set it at the 0.5 mark, like 2.5 or 6.5. Max should know this.
Oh.
Spread is always set on the half. So, yeah, we'll do 2.5 and 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still going, I'm going over, going under for DeSantis.
Okay, I'm under on both.
Okay.
And now, if you're watching the debate in Iowa, which you're probably not going to be doing, I want to remind you, Vivek Ramaswamy is running an ad on CNN telling people to turn the debate off, which is absolutely based.
I'm Vivek Ramaswamy, and I approve this message. The mainstream media is trying to rig the Iowa GOP caucus in favor of the corporate candidates who they can control. Don't fall for their trick. They don't want you to hear from me about the truth of what really happened on January 6th, the truth about the COVID origin, the Hunter Biden laptop story, and everything else they have lied to you about. So you can fix that. Take your remote and turn this off.
They must be hurting for advertiser revenue on CNN, allowing a commercial to air that says turn off this program. Right?
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know. Who approved that?
That's nuts.
It's wild. But that's going to be running in Iowa on CNN during that debate. All right, so the over-under one more time on Nikki Haley for clips on social media, 2.5.
2.5.
I'm going under.
Give me that over.
The clips on DeSantis are set at 6.5.
And we're both going under.
We're both going under.
Yes. Philip 7515 real quick. The only people that'll be watching the Haley DeSantis debate will be at the airport.
Oh, that's not true. CNN's not on at the airport anymore. It's not there. TB texted and he said she's a one-clip pony. It's 11:48 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Cowboy butts, huh? Matt Murphy in studio. What's up?
Damn it. Hello! Always forget. And it's odd because I turn my own mic on over there, but I forget over here. I don't know why. I feel like a guest. Hello, everyone.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Chris Hand.
Hello.
Hello, Mac Morey.
Hello.
Hello, Bel K. Hello, listeners and viewers alike.
Murphy
Mr. and Mrs. America.
Murphy wants in on the action for tonight.
Hey, okay. I do want in. But before I get in on the action, I got to tell you. So, and I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. After I did what I did, right?
What, hijacking my Twitter?
Yes. And
okay.
After, in my defense, I put hashtag this is Matt, not Chris on there. But after I hijacked your Twitter, and understand, I hijacked your Twitter after wagging my finger and like yelling at Pamela Furr for hijacking my Twitter, right?
Yeah. There was some.
I mean, there's complete hypocrisy.
There was finger wagging.
I mean, there's complete hypocrisy going on.
Fingers were wagged.
And after I did it, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help it. I'm like Hunter Biden with the crack pipe. I couldn't help it. And so I, type, Matt Murphy's my hero, and then hashtag this is Matt, not Chris, and then I hit send, and in my brain I said, you better remember to close your account. Like 4 times yesterday. I was like, you better remember to close your account.
So
you better remember to close. And I did.
Listen. So I knew I knew you weren't going to log out because you never log out, and I never do any of that because I'm a good person. So I said, what do I tweet?
I'm not a good person.
And no, it's one of the worst. So I said, what can I do that's really going to get under his skin? So I decided to leave it up to the listeners because my first gut instinct was, I stand with Palestine. That was what I wanted to do. That was like where I wanted to go first.
I was like, I don't know about that, man.
From the river to the sea.
Yes.
No.
That would have been. That's what I should have done.
I liked Principal Skinner better.
Yeah, but you do. Here's the thing. I left your tweet up. You deleted my tweet.
I didn't mean to delete it, but I deleted it, and then I wanted to try to edit it, and it wouldn't let me edit it.
Here's the thing. You hit delete, and then it says, "Are you sure you want to delete?"
I did, and then I deleted it.
Yes,
I did.
Multiple clicks.
You didn't mean to twice.
But then I went back and I posted that Chris Hand's my hero. I thought that was nice.
It's not the same.
I thought that was a nice thing to do.
That was a super texter's idea.
You know what the big winner is here is Hand, because Hand. You should be getting followers. Just
I did. Tim Burchett followed me because of that.
But bro, well,
I've been sending him so many memes.
Call a lid on the day, man. That's it.
I'm sending him alien memes. Like, yo, did you see this? The moon landing was faked.
Burchett in his office, like, who followed Hand? Yeah.
Don't do that.
You can't unfollow me now.
We followed him because of the Skinner butt. Now what?
So, all right. So you want in on the action for tonight? We're betting on how many social media posts each candidate will provide after the debate.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm setting this right. So there's Trump is doing a town hall.
We're only doing this for DeSantis, Haley.
Okay, right, but I'm just making sure I understand. Trump's event overlaps DeSantis, Haley.
Trump has a town hall on Fox.
Okay. So everybody's going to be watching that. Nobody's going to be watching them.
Nikki Haley had her town hall Monday.
Right.
And it was the same time as the Redskins-Lions championship game. And so nobody's watching it. She only posted one clip from her town hall.
Which non-participating team won?
I think the Lions
won. The Lions won. Well, good.
That's good for the Lions.
I was rooting for the Redskins.
Long time.
I was rooting for the Redskins myself, but
both teams have been in a drought.
Yeah,
exactly. It's been a while. It's been a while for that.
Joe Theismann really needed this one.
Yeah.
Hey, it's my understanding that the Lions. Everybody's saying the Lions head coach is coming to Tennessee.
The Lions head coach
right?
is. Yeah.
Have you not heard that?
That is definitely being talked about.
That is a rumor.
Who would leave after a championship, though?
I don't. Something a cheater.
Yeah.
Cheater.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Chris. He should really like the Lions. I mean, because they're convicted cheaters and they won. He's a Patriots fan. It's right in line with him.
I mean,
perfect.
They're right.
You're still mad that I brought up that last Super Bowl with Tom Brady the other day.
They're directly south of his home country. I don't understand why he wouldn't
can throw a rock and hit it.
Okay, so we're doing number of tweets or X
social
posts.
media posts of clips from the debate.
Okay.
So video clips. So like yesterday we set the over-under for the town hall on DeSantis at 8, which we found out that we're terrible at betting. We should have set it at 8.5.
Yes.
Right, because he pushed.
Because he posted exactly 8.
Yeah, if you do it over-under, got to do that half.
Got to do the half.
So we've set the bar at 2.5 for Nikki Haley and 6.5 for DeSantis.
Yes.
I'm going over on both.
Over on both?
Over on both.
And here's why, because DeSantis has already gone over 6.5, right?
Yeah.
And I think Haley, well, maybe I'm giving them too much credit because I would think that someone in their war room goes, hey, why aren't we posting more on social media when we have these events?
Yeah, well,
because that's ridiculous.
Well, and nobody watched your town hall.
Right.
Like, that's your opportunity to curate your message, your prepared lines.
You're like Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. Nobody actually watches the show. We just watch the 2-minute clip after the show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went under on both.
Okay, I'm going over on both.
Okay, I think DeSantis posted so much last night that he may pull back a little bit.
What are you doing?
I've got over on Nikki, under on Ron.
Okay, I'm over on both. Okay, good.
All right.
Excited about this.
We'll see.
Are you closing your Twitter account?
Yeah, it's logged out.
Please do.
I'm doing double authentication from now on. Super Talk.
Two-factor.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN.